Dracula 2026 review. Alright, so Dracula 2026, yet another take on the classic Dracula story, and this one really struggles to balance its tone. So what does the movie do well? Let's start with the positive. This is classic source material. Dracula is a timeless story, and it's always interesting seeing it readapted. As long as you stick to the bones of the story, which this movie does, it's kind of hard not to tell at least a somewhat compelling story. Cale Jones is really good as Dracula. The only other things I've ever seen him in are Get Out, where he plays the asshole brother, and X-Men First Class as Banshee. I would never have pegged him for Dracula, but he genuinely does a great job here. A lot of the vampire effects are actually pretty good too, and they do this thing with the vampire voices where there's this echoing, haunting quality to them. It's kind of enticing but eerie, almost like a siren call, and I think that really worked. Another thing I appreciated, most Dracula movies spend a lot of time with Jonathan Harker at Dracula's castle. Even the book does this. This movie doesn't linger there as much, which was a nice change of pace. And lastly, the final showdown. Usually it's just the same 4 to 6 guys hunting Dracula down. This time they basically bring an entire army with them, which honestly makes more sense. Christoph Waltz, priest character, who's basically Van Helsing, ends up convincing Dracula to give himself up to save Mina's soul. I actually like that change a lot. Now what didn't work for me, here's where things kind of fall apart. First off, this movie is very clearly borrowing from Bram Stoker's Dracula, the Coppola version. The whole wife is taken from him, he forsakes God angle is not from the book that was introduced in that movie, and they're doing it again here. That's not necessarily bad, but if we're getting another adaptation, I would have liked to see a new way of making Dracula sympathetic. On top of that, he looks very similar to Gary Oldman's version, which yes is pretty accurate to the description in the book when Dracula's older, but this felt like a straight up copy. Also, Dracula's face, all I could see was Palpatine from Star Wars. It just looked so much like him. The biggest issue though is easily the tone. It's all over the place. At times the movie takes itself extremely seriously, trying to be this tragic gothic romance horror film, then it undercuts itself with way too many silly, goofy moments. The balance just does not work. There's a lot of comedy here, and I'll admit, I chuckled a few times, but it's just so goofy. Dracula has these little CGI minions that just look terrible, and at first I thought they were gargoyles he was animating from the castle or something. I don't know, stupid already. But then at the end, it's revealed they were children. I guess he turned into these things. I don't know what was going on there. There's also this whole subplot where Dracula manufactures a perfume that attracts women to him, and that's about as silly as it sounds. There's a montage where he's traveling across Europe, making women dance under his influence, and I'll admit it's weirdly mesmerizing, but it's so stupid. In other adaptations, he has this ability to attract people, which feels supernatural. Here they try to ground in reality, in a very dumb way to me. I just don't think it works at all. Overall, I genuinely feel like this is the silliest Dracula movie ever made. So what's my final rating? This one's tough. There's a lot of stuff here that did not work for me, but at the same time, the over-the-top nature of it is still really entertaining, and I didn't feel like I wasted my time watching it. I'm stuck between it didn't work for me tier and I liked it tier, but I think I have to put into it didn't work for me. There's no world where I'd prefer this goofy tone over the much more serious takes like Bram Stoker's Dracula or Nosferatu. If you're curious what a goofy Dracula movie looks like, go check it out. If you already know that kind of tonal shift won't work for you, stay at home and rewatch one of the better adaptations. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of Dracula 2026, and like, follow, and subscribe for more videos like this.